very much. Now, Indonesia, a double disaster. More than 100 people are reported to have died. Hundreds more are missing after an earthquake and tsunami hit western Indonesia yesterday. Also, the country's most volatile volcano, Mount Merapi, started erupting and is now emitting volcanic clouds and ash. So far, several hundred people have been moved to safer ground. Let's get more on this with Karishma Veswani, who joins us live from Jakarta. Karishma, let's start with Mount Merapi. What is the latest on that?
Well, right now officials are still trying to evacuate thousands of people who live on or near the mountain. Remember, on Monday, the government had issued a red alert for Mount Merapi. What that means is it's the highest signal for a volcano here in Indonesia, and that signaled that an eruption was imminent. And they were trying to convince people who live near the mountain to start making their way down to government shelters that had been provided. Scientists had been warning of a major eruption at this volcano for some time. People were reluctant to do so. In fact, one official told us that only 300 villagers made their way down from Mount Merapi and moved into government shelters. Officials tried to force the elderly, pregnant women, children, disabled, but others were quite reluctant because they didn't want to leave their homes and farms unattended. Well, today the volcano is erupting, in fact, and many are now struggling to be moved down from the slopes of the volcano into those refugee camps. One official has told us that now at least 13,000 people need to be moved down from away from the mountain.
Goodness. What are the latest figures from the tsunami yesterday? More than 100 initially feared dead. Is that figure likely to rise?
Well, at this stage, it's still extremely unclear. We've heard from health ministry officials. They've confirmed that figure of more than 100 people dead. They say that hundreds are still missing. Now, initially, when we first got the reports of this tsunami, officials were telling us that around 20 people had died, and then the number rose to 40, and now, as we know, over 100. Now, the reason for the lack of clarity about this issue is because this is in a very remote part of Indonesia. It's sparsely populated. In fact, none of the safety and rescue teams have actually been able to make it down to the worst affected parts of the islands because of the bad weather that's hampered the relief efforts. The Indonesian Vice President is due to arrive in the Mentawai Islands, this area that's been affected by the tsunami, on Wednesday, and a rescue operation is expected to be launched at that time as well. I think we'll get more clarity about figures early Wednesday.
Okay, Karishma, that's one with the latest. Thank you.